Hi, I'm Violet, a mildly feral bunny girl from ancient times wandering around in modern times. Not all those who wander are lost, but I am. Can I get a taxi to the nearest Aetherite?
And I'm Houka, the Allison voidsent of wealth and taste. I may have stolen many a man's soul and faith, but you can't prove anything at all.
Welcome to the Eorzean update and discussion podcast for the HJP Podcast Network, breaking down the behind-the-scenes details about Final Fantasy XIV Online, the award-winning MMORPG with free trial that goes all the way up through Stormblood, allowing you to play level 70.
Today's discussion we'll be talking about the most recent live letter that was that talks about 7.38
so
and
for
7.4.
7.4. Hell yeah. I'm all for it.
That was a doozy.
You want to do a retake on that one?
No. I don't mean a retake. I mean I'm talking about the live letter. The live letter was quite a doozy.
Yes, actually, the live letter was a lot. I stayed up for it. I actually waited through the whole thing. I had some notes of stuff that they had been talking about previously, but all right. So, everybody can look forward to at 11/11. So November 11th, we're gonna get all of our limits on the Savage tier released.
Mm-hmm.
So go ham, Raiders. Get your gear on, because it's going to be about time to get stuff ready for the next tier. There are going to be some delays, though, so take your time. Take your time this time around. Actually spend time with family. Don't feel like you've got to neglect the humans in your life for the digital pixels this time around.
I mean, unless you want to. But otherwise,
I mean...
if you have no other choice, then, you can spend with your digital friends and family that's in 14, but, that's besides the point, so.
That's fair. I'll probably be doing a lot of that. But to explain further, the normal tier for the next raid series is going to be coming for the heavyweight. So Arcadian Heavyweight is coming out on 12/16, and that's for the normal raid. That's gonna be 4 of the normal raids. We're gonna finally have the this is the third section.
The third set.
Yeah, third set of 4. Yeah, so that means that's the entire set, isn't it?
Yeah, that should be the entire set.
Yeah,
cruiserweight, then light, and then heavyweight.
Yeah, cruiserweight, light, heavyweight, and the heavyweights. We're not going to see the Savage tier drop though until January. So the reason, honestly, the delays probably gonna irk some people, but I don't see it as a big problem, because that means that's more time for people to enjoy through the holidays. It's more time for people to get prepared for the Savage. All in all, I don't actually see it as too negative because of the time period that we're talking about, because we are talking about over especially in North America, we have big holidays going down. So
oh yeah, most definitely, right around Thanksgiving and Christmas and whatnot. So
it is literally the 6 weeks of Thanksgiving through Christmas that they're going to be. We're gonna get right in between that. We'll get the normal drop, but yeah, we're not gonna get until after the New Year. It's gonna be January 6th.
Which is fine. It gives people, not a lot of people are going to be logging in. I already can let you know that there's going to be a week period where I'm not going to be here, so I'm not going to be logged in at all, which is fine.
Fair enough.
And so,
yeah. I have events that I'm doing because, of course, as you know, I am a very small time streamer, so I will be doing some streaming stuff through the solstice with my family. Yep. So yeah, I won't be logging in for it either, but I'm looking forward to having more time to actually learn the normal fights, in the hopes that the Savage fights have some similarities, so I might be able to translate it over. Though from what I've heard, the Savage from this series, I haven't done any of them myself, but I have watched a lot of my friends do them. The Savages have been incorporating a lot of mechanics that are very different in this second tier from their normal raid versions. So, or at least I know that the Savage version of the fourth raid did.
So I have not done the lightweight portion
Mhm.
of the Savage. I have only done one of the cruisers, and I
Uh-huh.
can tell you, so like it's the first one, and
Right.
mechanic wise, there's still they are similar, but there's a
Mhm.
lot of there's one part of the fight where it still confuses me to this day, where I'm supposed to be standing and everything,
Fair
but
enough.
it's completely different than what you see in the normal fight, and I absolutely love it.
Okay. Okay.
I really want to go to the
I
Savage part of the raid series.
Yeah, I really want to be able to this entire raid series, we're story-wise, just touching on it very lightly, not getting into it. It is optional content, so I don't consider it to be part of the MSQ. So if there are a few spoilers here, I apologize, but I'm not going to be repentant about it. If that makes any sense. Like I'm sorry you're mad. But the overall theme of it has been very WWE, has been very wrestling, and to be as a person who is not necessarily like a huge fan of wrestling myself, but I grew up around people who took it very seriously. And I grew up during the Hulkamania years. So yeah, that has been a wild thing to go through this series, and have this raid basically dredge up all those childhood memories. Though if I have to do a shout out, my favorite wrestling was the glow wrestling.
Nice.
The gorgeous ladies of wrestling. Hell yeah. So
That's awesome. So yeah, I'm like you. I grew up right around the Hulkamania era, leading
right.
up into the NWO and Stone Cold and the Rock era of WWE, and even now where I still follow WWE, but also AEW and a
Mhm.
few Japanese pro wrestling promotions out there. So yeah,
It
I'm
is
still.
so cool how into like the whole wrestling thing is that like I forget his like full wrestling name, but Mankind is
um
huge in Japan.
yeah, Mick
Uh,
Foley.
yeah, Mick Foley. That dude is awesome, by the way.
If you
Um
if there's one match you need to watch from Japan, is the death match between Mick Foley and Terry Funk. Uh,
okay, you're going to have to send me a link after, but that's
I
for an after situation. Yeah.
might have to find it and then link it over to you. But yeah, that's gonna
But
be one match you
you
might have to find. You
Oh
have to
yeah.
watch.
Okay, so but if you are into those kind of vibes, if you are into that kind of thing, this raid series will touch on all of those glorious things and get you going. It has been gloriously fun, and it is a welcome break to me from the Pandemonium series because I liked the Pandemonium series. It was interesting to get a lot of this lore and a lot of the background on what happened with stuff, but it was serious. Like it was dark. Like it was really dark. And then before that we had the Eden Raid series, and Eden was just it was also a lot. We got a big lore drop there on stuff, but it
Yes.
was also just like a really emotional series. Again, not going into details. And then you have the Omega raids, which are still like evergreen as a raid series because that's just a gauntlet. It feels almost like a precursor to what we're doing now
Mm-hmm.
because it's literally just a gauntlet of bosses from that are all walk on like cameos from other Final Fantasy games. Um and this one is a little bit different because they're literally creating different characters, and I love how they even went into in a couple of places that you have heel characters and you have face characters,
Yeah,
and it's just their characters. They're not actually like they don't hate each other. There's just their characters like do that. That's awesome.
that is
Um
awesome.
One of the new things we're also going to get in now in 7.4, which is dropping on 12/16, we're along with the Arcadian Heavyweight normal series, we're also going to get new tomestones of mnemonics. Say that 10 times fast.
Nope,
Um
not going to.
but we'll also get new craftable raid gear. I'm interested to see what that looks like. We'll also get new MSQ. Not going to go into that. We'll also get new Hildebrand adventures. I very much encourage people to keep up with what's been going on with Hildebrand and Dawn Trail. It
Just to
is
pit,
excellent.
just to picture the show in the live letter.
Uh huh.
I was at the gym when the live letter was going on, and I saw that picture, and I had a good chuckle.
Oh yeah.
I had a few people looking at me weird, but I had a good chuckle out of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, I I'm
The new one,
so excited for
it looks like
this.
it's gonna be so fun. It just looks like it's gonna be so fun.
It's
Um,
it's so I implore you, if you've not done the Hillebrand quest line, and when I held off on it until I was finished and caught up with MSQ and everything to go back to do the Hillebrand from like ARR up. It is by far one of my favorite quest line to do. It's so funny. I love every single moment of it. It's so good.
it's just such a delightfully goofy thing.
It
It's
is.
it's just I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the things I love about this game, absolutely love about this game, is that it has exactly the right mix of drama, emotional tension, um, goofy, hilarious moments, and just real connection. It's so great. Especially if you get into the side stories and you learn about all of the different little characters everywhere. It's wonderful. We are also going to get a new dungeon. I'm not going to give the name away because there are some people in our group and others that feel as though that's going to be a little bit of a spoiler, but we are getting a new dungeon. We are also getting a new trial. They gave out pictures at the live letter of what the new trial is going to be, and I'm not going to go into detail, but I am going to say that if you have any trauma from the Phantom Train, you might you might want to prepare yourself a little bit for this trial cuz it's going to be a lot.
No, I'm yeah. When I saw the picture, I was like, "What is
Ooh.
this? What is this?"
Oh, yeah. Of course, I love that some of the comments were like, "Oh my god, can we suplex it?"
I'm still waiting for the monk
I
to be able to
know,
suplex
right?
people.
That would be so awesome. All right, so okay, so the new Arcadian Heavyweight is going to be moving into a little bit of a different flavor. We've been very like I love how each raid series this has also kind of taken on a little bit of a different flavor for stuff. I do still follow certain wrestling. Like there's like British like indie wrestling I'm very into
Oh, okay.
because there are a lot of queer members that do a lot of very interesting like character goofy moment. It's a very sort of like cultural touchstone almost thing for me as a queer person. But and so I kind of keep up with a little bit, and it's been really fun to kind of see the evolution over the series because we started out with what felt like sort of a simple challenge, and it was a very like cruiserweight almost indie, like we're just here with the rookies just trying to prove ourselves type thing, to then moving up to we're just now getting through the cruiserweight, so we're getting through the people who are like, no, this is my job, I take this seriously, this is my life, and even if my life is doing goofy bits in between real actual wrestling, then that's what I've chosen. And to the point of like their own detriment, which is part of the storyline, which is so interesting. And now we're going to be going into the people for whom this is their entire existence. They are the heavyweights.
Yeah.
They are the, Roddy Pipers. They're the people for whom this is their entire existence. And they plan on it being their entire existence for multiple lives.
Yeah. So like
Which
in pro wrestling term, they're pretty much like the historians of like the fights in the wrestling and whatnot. Like if you
they're the
talk to
superstars.
yeah, there's the superstars. Like if you talk to any like superstar pro wrestler or whatnot, they will
Mhm.
tell you about the matches that they watch of like the 60s and 70s of pro wrestling and whatnot
Mhm.
because they had gone back and they've gone and watched those matches and that became their identity of I will learn every single inch of this business, and that's what these heavyweights are going to be about. Like this is their livelihood. They don't know anything but else but this.
And as an aside, I also love, and I am gonna spoil. I'm sorry. You cover your ears for the next few seconds, guys. I'm gonna spoil this part. To unlock the savages, what you normally you would go and you would talk to someone who is like a part of the series, but is like on the fringes of it. Like for instance, to unlock the savages for Omega, the Omega Raid series, you would go and talk to one of the Garland Ironworks people in Ralger's Reach. However, for this series, it's a manga creator. It's literally you're going to the dude who's making the comic series of the wrestlers, which by the way, for people who don't know, is the thing in Japan. Like, if you are big into wrestling, you can also pick up the manga of the wrestling.
Yep. Yep.
And that
Because
is so cool to me as somebody who like used to be in the comic industry, still obsessed with it, still love comics. The fact that you're talking to a guy who's just like, okay, so here's my super special Super Saiyan version of like how this fight went down. And then you get to do the fight. It's great.
it's awesome. Yeah, I cannot wait. I want one of the fighters to be one of the Easter eggs that's in the game. I don't know if you know about it, but I want them to be in it. That's been my goal ever since the we reach a certain area in
Uh-huh.
Dawn Trail. I want this person to be in it, and
Okay.
I'm not gonna be disappointed if they're not. Um,
Who is it? Can I
okay,
know?
okay. So if you if anyone out there have watched Dad of Light, the Netflix series, um, a long time ago. It's not on Netflix anymore because I just checked.
Okay.
It's not there no more. I'm sad. Anyways,
Oh.
if you ever watch Dad of Light, you know a certain Final Fantasy XIV character that's in there. Well, if you know the backstory of Dad of Light, the person has been playing Final Fantasy XIV since 1.0, gone through
Right.
everything and was there for ARR and all that stuff. Unfortunately, he had cancer and is
Oh.
no longer with us. But in honor and I think in tribute, his in-game character is in one of the zones in Dawn Trail.
Oh, that's awesome.
When
Oh, that's such a great Easter egg.
when we go back in game, I will show you where that person is.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to do that. That'd be so great.
so because the character played a monk, I want if this character is in the new raid series, I would cry in happiness. But I'm not gonna. But I will not. I'm not going to be disappointed if they are not.
Right. Okay. All
But
right. Well, good.
it's just one of those things. One of those. What's the word I'm looking for? Hope
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like that moment when you realize that in tribute to his passing,
Yes,
Robin Williams actually got a genie character in World of Warcraft.
I do remember that.
That was just such a touching tribute, especially since he was such a big fan of the game. So yeah, that is a really cool. I love it when Gabe Debs put Easter eggs like that in. It's just like a real touch point with both fans and with the people who've contributed to their success, and I love that.
And then the
Um,
like you don't even see the character's name over the head either. Like if you just need to know what they look like, and he,
okay, see, that would be why I didn't catch any of that because this is not something that I necessarily have a connection with. But you definitely have to show me next time we get in game.
oh yeah, I definitely will.
Are you a Final Fantasy XIV player tired of AFKing in Limsa all alone? Do you long for a group of adventurers to explore the realms with? HeatherJustPlay.org has got you covered. We have our own free company on the Dynamis Data Center, Kraken's Call. No, the FC is called Kraken's Call? That's enough out of you, you squidgy squid! As I was saying, Kraken's Call, a pirate-themed free company headed up by Captain Oliver Benley, our very own Heather of Heather Just Play, welcomes you to join us on Kraken for a round of ale, a good fighter 3, and possibly a cannon firing. Ugh, that's gonna leave a mark. Even if you already have a free company, or you love your home server, then join our Discord community. Link on heatherjustplay.org and come play with our active community of helpful warriors of light. Okay, so let's get through the next few things that they were talking about. Okay, so we have a new Unreal that's going to be coming out in 7.4, and that's going to be Tsukiyomi's Pain. We've already had debates about this in the Discord, but I am excited for this fight. It is literally my favorite trial from Stormblood, and I am so excited to do the Unreal version of it. It's gonna be so great. I don't know how many people. I'm probably gonna have to party finder it because it looks like that all of our raiders are split on how much they even want to deal with Tsukiyomi's pain. But
Okay, so I'm like you. I love this fight. This fight was top tier for me. Mainly because like not only was the music was good, but like the mechanics and just the fight and everything. Because in my head, I'm thinking, I'm thinking like she deserved better. But anyway,
she really, yeah, but but I mean, it's what she's such an interesting villain. First
yes,
of
she
all,
is. Yes,
and second of all, like the music is an absolute banger from beginning to end. The fact that it starts with like very like Chinese strings
yeah,
in orchestral and then just goes into this incredible rock theme. It is amazing. I love that. And then the mechanics themselves, they're not super difficult to figure out. Actually, they just require a lot of attention
yes.
and a lot of coordination. So we'll see how well we're going to get people to coordinate because we had, in my opinion, I just got started on doing Unreals myself recently because we had right now it's Wreath of Snakes, and Wreath of Snakes is, I would honestly say, the most formulaic. It's not an uninteresting fight. I like it. It's not bad, but it is a very formulaic fight compared to the other extremes because they did some interesting stuff, like really interesting stuff in Stormblood, mechanically speaking.
Yes, yeah, they did. They most definitely did.
It was really nice to kind of like see them kind of expand beyond because by the time we gotten through ARR and we gotten through Heaven's Word, things they were doing some funky stuff back then. It was weird in that Stormblood did a good job of codifying a lot of like indicators and codifying a lot of like basic strategies for how to handle certain mechanics and so forth. but it also gave us really interesting things like Suzaku has an entire like DDR dance break in the middle of it.
Yeah. I mean, not wrong.
It's so cool. And then we have there's Byakko, where you're literally flung into the air and you actually have mid-air mechanics that you have to do. Everybody is annoyed by that. I love it. I think it's
I
actually really
I love
cool.
it because every single time we you get what is it, pushed up there and everything,
Yeah.
it's I pretty much like say in chat, fallen, free fallen. So good. I do it every single time, and people don't get
It's
the joke, and
great.
I'm like, oh, I'm too old for this.
Oh, no. Okay. So, um but yeah, Tsukiyomi's Pain's gonna be it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of fun though. I am so excited to try and get together a Fight Club group to go and take this one on. I'm hoping that I can actually get people interested in doing this one because I just love this fight so much.
It's so
Even if
good.
we don't do the Unreal, just doing a synced run of the original Tsukiyomi's Pain is still a lot of fun to me. So we'll see how many people get involved in that. If you'd like to join along with us, you can go to heatherjustplay.org and check out our group and then get a link to our Discord. Come join us. I run a group called Fight Club. We also have a bunch of other raid groups, and we all do fun stuff together in Final Fantasy XIV if that's something you're interested in.
Shout out to the Buccaneers and
Oh,
Clan
yeah.
Nazi.
All right, so here's where we're gonna get off the raid series and off the other stuff. We're gonna start talking about like just some update stuff, like duty support. Duty support's gonna be updated for Zamiel Darkhold and Aurum Vale. Hopefully, that means that we will not see those in roulettes as often as we have.
I'm failing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the thing, because of how complicated Zamiel Darkhold and Aurum Vale are, and they are mechanically speaking, if you've done them, they're not that bad, but they are very awkward. I think awkward's probably the best way to describe them because now once you've kind of figured out the basic strategies that people have developed over time, it's not that bad. It's just not as neatly formulaic, I suppose, as a lot of other dungeons around that same time. Like
Yeah.
Zaniel Darkhold has a very awkward period in it where you don't know how far you're really supposed to pull. And you're supposed to kind of like use your judgment as to how far to pull because there's no wall. There's no wall. You are just going and going and going and going and going, and you can pick up a ton of mobs that do massive damage for the level that
Yes.
it's at. And it will absolutely annihilate a team that is not prepared for how hard it's going to hit. Now, if you know how that pull goes and you know how to mitt through it, you know how to heal through it, you know the deal, as it were. It's very doable and it's not that big a deal. But it can come up and surprise people with how big that pull can be.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like you said, there's no wall, so you can just keep on going and pull as many mobs as you can see. But at the same time, it's like
Right.
you have to be careful in there because
Well, if your
there's
timing is wrong,
unexpected damage. Yeah.
there's explosion mechanics from crystals on the sides, and if you don't time your movement through them correctly, then you can wind up getting hit for that, and that does a ton of damage. If the tank isn't really good at picking up all of the AoE or all of the mobs with their AoE, and they don't go through fast enough that they can be hit the entire time while they're running through, several of the mobs actually have pull in mechanics, and then have a massive AoE right after. So that's having to realize that how you have to deal with that is you either have to knockback resist or you have to just run out as fast as possible. And sometimes that's not possible based on the geography of the space. It's again, it's one of those things where once you have experience with it, it's fine. You know how to deal with this. But if you're a new person and you are going in with people you don't know who can't explain this to you, it can become a lot really fast.
Yeah, exactly. I Ooh, I remember my first time in there. And I'm like, what is going on? I mean, luckily I
And,
had my buddy with me, but at the same time, I was like, whoo.
and then Aurum Vale. Aurum Vale is basically the bane of, like, it makes the top of so many people's worst dungeon list. Now, if once you're used to Aurum Vale and how to deal with it, because it's a little janky, like it's very awkward. In particular, if you are used to that Sistasha, like first few dungeons where you have a pathway, it's not a very clear pathway, but you have a pathway, and you run through that pathway, you gather as many mobs as possible, and you all just like kill them as best you can. Aurum Vale has the awkward position of being just shy of getting all of your top tier level 50 stuff, because it's a level 47, which even when you sink down, you only sink down to 48, I think, 48,
Something like
49.
that? Yeah.
It's like just shy of actually getting, for a lot of jobs, your first OGCD or your first AoE or your first like big hitting ability. And you have to go into this thing where the first room is basically death.
I, you,
If you
you,
try to take that first room and clear it out, I'm not saying it is impossible, and I'm not by any means saying that nobody has done it. I'm sure there are plenty of people who have, but the prevailing strategy for it is to hug the left hand, side, run through as fast as possible, and then the tank basically runs around the corner into the boss room with the healer hopefully on their heels. And as they get behind, they basically have to heal bot the tank while the DPS take everything out, hopefully without starting the boss fight.
yes.
That is the prevailing strategy. However, it is very easy if you are a brand new person to tanking and you get thrown into Aurum Vale as one of your first tanking dungeons, that it will basically turn you off from ever wanting to tank ever again.
Ooh, I remember my first time tanking in there, leveling up my tanks or whatnot, and ooh boy, that was fun ish,
Question mark.
something like that.
Okay. Okay, so it was really funny on the live letter. Apparently Yoshi P told a story about a friend who recently started playing the game, and he plays healer, and he went into Aurum Vale, and he actually like called him up and was like, what am I supposed to do as a healer in Aurum Vale? What is this? And he
Ooh,
had to kind of like explain the whole mechanic with the fruit and the everything else, and it just became like it is a really weird, complicated thing. So, by the way, because of that, duty support is getting a new mechanic added onto it. Now, here's an interesting backstory. A lot of people complain about how terrible the duty support is because you can't really control the NPCs, and I kind of agree. The original form of duty support was actually the what do you call it? When you get to a certain point with your grand company, you get access to a squadron. The squadron was supposed to help you with um being able to do like low level fights, or just being able to level them up through your different jobs up through level 50.
Yeah.
And then eventually to level 60, I think. Somewhere in there. Anyway,
Some
I don't know. I
some
haven't done it
something
in a
about
long
that.
time. Something like that. Anyway, the problem was is that there was a macro command that you could use that would essentially increase the damage from your entire NPC group. But the thing is it wound up being bugged. Okay. And that bug actually allowed people to get that same massive damage buff outside of those dungeons, and people were using it to try and cheese mechanics in ultimate fights that had just come out.
Oh no.
Yeah. So because of that, that is the reason why we do not have control over our NPCs, and we've had to rely on a system that uses a fairly basic AI, right? It's not really an artificial intelligence in the way that we think of it because it actually works. Um Sorry. Anyway, so but they are adding a new feature in with it now, and what it does is if you are using the NPC duty support, okay, and you're going into these fights, excuse my cat yelling in the background. I promise they have been fed and taken care of. They're just loud. Um
You're good.
so they're going to give us is essentially it's like an echo stack. So if you take enough damage that you would normally die, and then while you're using the NPC duty support, then what it will do is it will add a stack onto you that essentially allows you to keep going
Oh,
without
okay.
having to restart all over again. So you get 3 tries of this. So but after the third you do have to start over and re-strategize. All right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be just going there forever. I'm like, oh yeah, I have
Walk out with 100 stacks.
20 stacks. I'm fine. This is fine.
But yeah, no, so the new Echo system is basically going to give people a little bit more, because the idea is that if you're somebody who's serious about really learning how to play this game in its like nuts and bolts,
Hmm.
that you're going to be playing with other people and therefore going to be creating strategies with other people. Whereas they want very badly to give you the Final Fantasy experience, even with Final Fantasy XIV, where you can play it like a single player game. And I'll be honest with you, as a person who is a lover of MMO RPGs, that's a little weird to me, but at the same time, I think that it's still it's nice to have it because there are people in our community who very much relied upon, because they have anxiety issues or because they are just someone who can't communicate very well about the game because they just don't have a lot of experience, or like there's lots of different reasons why someone would prefer to play by themselves than to have to play with other people because of just anxiety, or just not even knowing how to explain the problems or the issues that they're having,
Or they
or
just
even
had a bad
understanding what
experience.
people, or they just had a really bad experience and they just don't want to duplicate it, which is fine. And I think that that's absolutely admirable that they are providing that, because I will admit there are a lot of games where, even positive games with positive people, you can wind up taking things really poorly because in the moment you're feeling very self-conscious, and somebody could say something that's just very terse, but it's because they're using a chat system. They're not meaning necessarily to be mean to you. It just comes off very judgy and mean because they're just incredibly terse, very short, and it's because they're probably on a PlayStation typing with a keyboard barely balanced on their knees on a couch.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
or they're using like a little thumb pad. Like, I've kind of learned over the age that you have to just kind of take a deep breath and maybe it'll be all right. But sometimes people are just assholes. I mean, it's just true.
I
Sometimes
mean,
people are
so
just jerks.
I mean, when I go into a dungeon trial raid series or whatnot, and like we wipe or whatnot, I laugh it off and be like, it's fine. And like I have groups where like the healer apologize or the tank apologize, and I just type up like, you have nothing to be apologizing for. I'm like, we're all in this together, and then we just keep on going, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's it, it's fine. You,
Yeah, and I
it's
think that
not that serious.
most of the people in the Final Fantasy community I have found have pretty much got the same attitude, and it's fine. It's great.
Yeah,
But there are people who take things a little too seriously, and I have to admit, every now and then, I am one of those people who likes to turn that back on myself of you should have been perfect. You shouldn't have made that mistake. Like very quietly to myself when I'm not on a voice call. Um but anyway, so now we're going to have that for duty support, and I think that's great for especially for new people and for people who like to play by themselves. PvP Series 10 is going to begin. I'm excited for that because I've been done with PvP for a while and I want my new rewards. Um, we're going to get a few action adjustments. PvP is going to be one of those things where we're continually trying to um tweak it, and it's never going to get to the point where it's completely left alone. And here's my theory on why. And it is because it is something that people take entirely too seriously, because there are just way too many people who use way too many add-ons and bot procedures specifically for playing PvP. And it unmoors the entire system, and it makes it so that it's not entirely fair. And I'll be honest with you, I don't personally care because mostly what I play is frontline. And frontline is one of those things where even if people are botting, people are doing crazy stuff, I
yeah.
don't care because I'm just there to get my pity points and get my cool glam.
Which I still need
like
to
it,
work on. I'm almost there, but I just still need to go through some PvP for some
okay,
frontline.
well, you got a few more weeks, but not
Yeah.
too many more weeks. So you better get on it. All right. No, here's the cool stuff. We've got a new frontline map coming out. This is about time. We've got 4 right now, but having a new frontline map, and it's one that's actually based on Dawn Trail area, so that's very cool. Warcore Cherte. I'm very excited for this because they're adding some new mechanics in. I like Ansal Hakar and I really like Shatter. I know that Shatter has some haters, but I like it. And I also like Seal Rock. There's only one frontline I'm not a fan of, and that is Border Secure. Yeah. The one where you have to go up and deal with the nodes and all of that. They made it better. They did. They did in the last update. I feel they made it better, but it's still not. The back and forth thing frustrates me. I don't like it as much.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
don't mind that one either, but it's like, no, I agree with you. It's like everyone's fighting on the outside, and then you're asking everyone to meet in the middle, and it's like
right,
like where I'm at the map is like I'm nowhere close to a node or anything, and I have to slow my way up there,
right.
and
The
it's frustrating.
the problem with it comes down to, well, they've now added nodes where you can go and you can like platform hop through elevators, which is nice because it means you can center up much faster than you used to be able to. However, even with that, it's still supposed to be a capture the flag with extras type
Yes.
setup, which I like the gameplay in the center of the map. I don't like the gameplay around the edges of the map because the other problem that you have with that one in Frontline in general is that it's supposed to be a game mode where you don't need a lot of coordination, right?
True.
But at the same time, it requires a lot of coordination
Yep.
to
Also true.
actually effectively do. So, like everybody underestimates the amount of coordination that successful strategy requires. Um, But all right, so but the cool thing is about this new one is that we're also going to have weather conditions that
Oh,
are going to affect gameplay. That's going to be cool.
that's gonna be so exciting because it's like, okay, finally the weather is going to affect uh how Frontline is gonna be played and everything. And so it's it adds a nice little wrinkle to Frontline, and I'm excited to see how they
Yeah.
implement it because I would like to see it implemented more, maybe in the dungeons, maybe as opposed to just clear sky and all that stuff. Like, give me a little bit of wrinkle, like, oh, it's snowing in the dungeons and whatnot, and just it, it could be just client based. It doesn't have to be server. Just make it client based where like it's snowing or whatnot, and I'd be happy with it.
I do like weather effects. I don't know if I would like them in dungeons, to be perfectly honest. I think I'm going to disagree with you there. I'm not. I like my dungeons a little bit more formulaic because it anything that gives me a chance of a failure point on something that's supposed to be fairly routine for me, I will
True.
get frustrated with. However, I like it when it's added the idea of it being added to the frontline map because it's bringing a mechanic that's very similar to stuff that we have to deal with in Crystalline Conflict into Frontlines. Because Crystalline Conflict is not just a 5v5 capture the flag sort of situation. It also has other mechanics on the board that you have to work around. Like there's one map where you have lava and bombs that go off. You have another where there are push and pull mechanics. There's another where you have everybody can get like wind and air mechanics where they get knocked up in the air. Um and that sort of thing adds interest, especially in like a PvP type setup. And having to deal with that actually I'm excited for that. I think it's going to add some really good interest to a frontlines campaign.
Yeah, cause I never done the that mode for PvP. Like, so I don't know what it's like because I'm just too afraid to even attempt to
Oh,
do it.
Crystalline Conflict is so fun though. And
Ah,
especially
yeah.
hey. We have done it as a group for HJP. And in fact, one of the things I was going to suggest here in the next little bit, because I know that people had brought it up, is because Crystalline Conflict is one of those where if you have a pre-made group, you can actually do a 5v5 pre-made Crystalline Conflict. Doesn't contribute towards your PvP scores or anything like that, but it's just a fun thing you can do with friends. It is a great way to just sort of like experience the different modes and just kind of play around with it. I suggest if we get that together, go try it. It's actually a lot of fun.
I mean, I'll do it with the group.
Hey,
I'm not going to queue for myself though. I'm
fair enough.
just
Fair enough.
being honest with that because it's like, yeah, I was never been a big fan of PvP, especially in my WoW
Yeah.
days. Unless I log in and my guild masters were like, "Get to South Shore right now," and I'm like, "Okay," and just the
Well,
whole.
okay. So WoW's a little bit different because it doesn't only have organized PvP, it also has world PvP.
Yep.
So that's a different flavor from what we're talking about. Final Fantasy
No, I
14,
know.
yeah, is very centered up on we're just doing organized PvP, which I personally prefer Crystalline Conflict over Frontlines sometimes, depending on the map, because it's faster and because you get a chance to do things where you're not necessarily overwhelmed, where it's a little bit closer to just a 1v1 or like a 1v2 type situation or 2v1 sort of like thing. Whereas in front lines, unless you are very familiar with the job that you are going in, you have a very high chance of just getting mobbed, just absolutely getting obliterated by 10 people.
I I have experienced that. Yep.
Which again, I think is fun. But again, I also recognize that other people may not find that fun.
No, I mean for me though, like especially in frontline, it's like my mistake is like, okay, I'm trying to take this one person down and not realizing the group has already moved on, and I'm still sitting there. And I'm like, oh, it's too late for
The
me to
retreat,
move. Yeah,
yeah,
the
the
retreat.
retreat not being called. The retreat not being called gets me every time. I get locked in and I don't disengage. All right, so let's move on to gold saucer updates because we do actually have a big one, and this one is very near and dear to my heart. I'm so excited about this. Air Force One is probably my favorite like gate game at the gold saucer, and it is getting a massive update.
Woo
We're getting a
woo!
whole new map for it. I'm so excited.
I'm
All
so
right,
excited for this too.
it's called the Cielidays. So it's basically it's pirate themed if you are into the whole Lenosia like experience. This is going to be that in Air Force One shooter game form. I saw some pictures from the live letter. Very excited about it. There are pirates. I'm sold.
Yep. It's gonna be so. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Like, don't get me wrong. I like the current Air Force One right now, but
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay, give me. I need another map.
Yeah. I mean, don't be wrong. Let's be fair. There are two different versions currently. They're both you fly through the gold saucer. They're kind of compared to a lot of other gates because it's based entirely upon your own skill.
Yeah.
It's relatively easier, particularly if you use a mouse or if you're just insanely good with a controller. It is a little bit easier than jump puzzles to me. I hate jump puzzles. I have a bad time with them. So Air Force One is like my jam. I love it. But this update is going to be exciting because I like anything where I get to see something new, and also pirates.
And also pirates. It
And
fits with
also
our
pirates.
it fits with the HAP theme to the T. So
Yeah, as soon as that's announced, honestly, we should get everybody in HJP together in Pirate Glam and go do Pirate Air Force One. I think
oh,
that would be amazing.
that'd be so good.
All right, so we're also going to get a Phantom Weapon update, where eye level is going to go up to 775.
Ooh.
Um, we're probably going to be ending this series of eye levels on around 800. I'm guessing. We're there's also going to be an Occult Crescent update. I'm gonna be honest with you at this point, and maybe this is me being kind of a downer, but I'm a little over Occult Crescent. I feel as though personally that Baja was the exploratory zone pinnacle.
Yes.
And I feel as though that not only is the story not really connecting with this one, which sucks because there's so much potential there, and it's just not hitting right. There are a lot of quality of life things that I do appreciate about the zone, but it's missing all of the innovation that we had with Baja because like we had critical engagements, and that's really kind of where we got the idea of the serial critical engagements is from Baja. But the fact that they seem to pop up in semi-random order, although I think we've determined at this point that it is down to certain mobs being attacked, do actually get you your your critical engagements popping up in the right order. And then fates are just on a timer. Uh but the rewards that you get dropped from those things are not consistent, and they're not uh I don't know, like there are a lot of quality of life things that I really don't like that are necessary for me to Like, I like that you can move around the map a little bit better, but I actually kind of agree with some of the people who complained that maybe being able to unlock all of the movement all at once is kind of a mistake. But at the same time, the way that they set up the critical engagement system, it was kind of necessary. I like the treasure chest edition. That's cool. And it does kind of give you a break from the constant CE fate, CE fate, CE fate like cycle that you get on. But everything to do with getting into Fort Tower was a mistake. Everything about dealing with Fort Tower was a mistake. Everything about the fact that they kept in the difficulty with instead of just automatically organizing people into were essentially alliance raid setups, because they gave us a number that was very similar to alliance raids for doing the critical engagements and so forth, right?
Yeah.
But they don't automatically just sort you into that sort of thing for the purposes of healing and for the purposes of being able to, have status effects affect people. So you've got people who are in these critical engagements. If they don't happen to be in a party, they're using party buffs that are helping no one except themselves, which is great. But at the same time, like, singular monk out there, like by themselves, I could have really used that brotherhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get you. It my frustration right now currently, because people have gotten their relic weapons and whatnot. Yay,
Right.
congrats. Ooh, I'm not jealous or anything. I am still
The
collecting
Demi Atma.
stones.
Yeah, the Demi
I
Atma was something that should have stayed in ARR, and it should have died there, because or at the very least they should have increased the drop rate to the point where, because it's already, like, at this point it's already enough of a difficulty or a pain point. We have 21 jobs. 21 jobs that people want to get relics for, and you're basically saying, okay, great, but we're going to make this one step something where you have to be completely obsessed with getting this one thing to drop. And then you have to get a lot of them, and they have to be the right composition of them to just get through this one step.
yeah,
And then
and
we're going to hold your tomestones hostage. What?
yeah, my frustration is like, okay, I can go to OC all day long
Mhm.
if I want and not see a single thing drop. I can do fates
Yeah.
all day and not see a single thing drop. At this point, I'm like, I pretty much have given up on it. And
Yeah.
and I've seen the relic weapons and I'm like, I want them so badly.
It
But is
is sadly one of those things where you have to, like I said, you have to lock in on it, and you have to obsess over it just to get through this one step. The rest of the steps are fine. To be honest, the rest of the steps are not that big a deal. It's just that one step. If they had just increased the drop rate to 20% or 25 or 30%, I think it's supposed to be 20% in Occult Crescent. But it's and it, or but I or no, it's only 10%, isn't it? It's 10%
yeah,
in Occult Crescent, and it's like 5% outside of Occult Crescent or something like that.
it's
It's
brutal.
supposed
It's
to be
so
higher, but it's
brutal.
still brutal. It's a 1 in 5 chance. That's not a lot. If it was again one of those things where it's like a 50% chance, because that once, and I understand that relics are supposed to be something that you invest time in, but this is not a skill thing. This is a grinding for luck thing, which is not fun.
No, not at all. And it's so frustrating at this point. And I've gotten to a point where I've almost completely given up on it. and
And
whatnot.
that
So,
really sucks, and it really sucks because it could have been so great, and there are still things that I do enjoy about it, and I know that there are people who are in our group who have spent huge amount of time in Occult Crescent because they do enjoy it so much. And the actual gameplay cycle is pretty fun. All I would say that especially if you're someone who gets into like raiding or you really enjoy doing high-end content, Occult Crescent is a great boot camp to go in and do some of those critical engagements because they are fast, they are fun, they're easy to figure out once you figure out your patterns, once you get where you're supposed to stand. But then it's just building up that muscle memory of getting into them. And I'm sure at this point we've got a few friends that are 100% experts. They are the people to follow, but it's still one of those things where it goes fast enough that it's fun. However, the other problems with Occult Crescent do keep me from really enjoying my time in there, and I don't like that. But for the upgrade, the updates, let's get through this really fast because, again, it's just they didn't really have a lot of information on it. We are getting 3 new Phantom jobs. We're getting Mystic Knight, Dancer, and Gladiator. They are going to be a little bit closer to the other Final Fantasy games. I think Final Fantasy. This is all based on what is it? Final Fantasy VI.
uh, no, I think see, Mystic Knight would have been 5.
Oh, okay, so yeah, that's right. It's all 5 or something like that. I'll be honest with you. I am a Final Fantasy XIV fan. I am not a Final Fantasy fan. However, recently I did download the mobile version of Final Fantasy, the original game, and I'm going through that. So
Oh, nice.
who knows? I might become a convert. We'll see. Uh they have added more stuff that you need for your full kit of outfit from Occult Crescent. Yay, we get accessories. So there's going to be 4 pieces for Disciple of War and 4 pieces for Disciple of Magic. It will increase your attributes while you're in OC. Another gear set for us to have. Hooray.
Yay.
You're also going to get those pieces. They will be obtained from critical engagements, treasure chests, magic pots, and happy bunnies. We are also going to see in 7.4 the drop of a new zone for Occult Crescent. So essentially, we're going to the next island, sort of thing. And we're going to see the exact same thing with the cosmic exploration. Again, they didn't have a huge amount of information. Um, and it's kind of interesting because at this point, from what I was reading, there are a lot of servers and data that don't even have the finished end of the latest drop. So like we're going to get this new drop of new content and there're going to be a lot of servers that aren't even going to be able to access it until several weeks into the or several weeks after 7.4 drops. Of course, we're gonna. It's gonna called Oisius or Oisius.
Or
I don't know.
something.
Or
Something like
something,
that.
something. And we're gonna get, of course, additions to cosmic tools. They're gonna get upgraded. The eye level is gonna go to 765. There are, of course, going to be tons of new rewards. Some of them are going to be things that you can buy, and some of them are going to be a part of the gotcha system. They didn't specifically talk about any of it. There is a new mission completion bonus that they've decided to add to it, which is sequential missions will now give you a further completion bonus, which is very nice. Also, you're going to have ruins in this next zone. So there's going to be an exploratory end, which is good of everything's ruin exploration. It's going to be fun. That sounds good. I'm excited for that. That sounds fun. There's also going to be an uncovering of like ancient records. So this feels again very borrowed from like the OC Baja type like notes that you
Yeah,
get that are downloaded from events. That actually sounds kind of fun
it does.
to put together. Get a nice lore drop for that. Um And of course, there's a new space outfit. And this okay, so they showed the picture of the new mounts. And the new mount from this the cosmic exploration is going to be wild. So for those people who have done the um uh optional dungeon, I'm trying to remember what the actual name of it is because I'm so bad with names. It's the one where you help the Loperate with the fact that their apartments that they were building for all of the theorists have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah,
geez, what is it called?
I can't remember. And I'm gonna remember it after we're done recording, and I'm gonna be so mad at myself because that's how my brain works. But anyway, in that dungeon, the second boss is it the first or the second? I think it's the.
First one?
I think so. Yeah, it's the first boss. It's the first boss. So first boss, which is the face that turns upside down, happy sad face with
Yes.
the ones on the side. Yeah, that's gonna become the new mount.
I, I saw that. I'm like, no way that they're making that into a
Yeah,
mount. There
yeah,
is no
yeah.
way that you. There was one, oh god, raid series. Wow, my
Hmm.
mind is drawing a blank right now. The Endwalker raid series and whatnot in these.
Pandemonium.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, not Endwalker one, not Pandemonium. It's the ones that
Pandemonium is Endwalker.
no, and Pandemonium is Shadowbringers. Oh no,
No,
I'm
it's not.
sorry.
No, Eden Raids. Eden Raids is Shadowbringer. Pandemonium is Endwalker. So what?
I am thinking about what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about it's the Alliance raid ones, not the normal. The Alliance raid for Endwalker, the ones that deals with the zodiac
Yeah,
signs
the
and
one
whatnot.
that we're not gonna yeah, that stuff. We're not gonna talk about
Oh,
that too
yeah,
much detail, but yeah.
but there's the second raid, last boss. I want that. Uh, I want the wolf as the mount. Give me that.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, we got close with the 16 crossover, but yeah, I understand what that one
Yeah,
too.
I know. I want that
I
one
know,
though.
I know. I guess we have to fight the moon again for her. Why are we always fighting the moon? I
I don't
mean, come
know.
on. All
I
the
don't
things.
know.
It's funny.
We're always
Anyway.
fighting the moon somewhere, but why?
It's always balls in the moon with this game. Anyway.
I know, right? Just a lot of balls to
Okay.
juggle and all that. I
I
don't
I
know.
guess something, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, let's get into some cool stuff. All right, the variant dungeon and criterion. Okay, so for those people who did not get into variant dungeons, they were added in Endwalker. Variant dungeons are basically like a choose your own adventure type story. Um, that you go into the dungeon, you get to choose different pathways. Each pathway ends in a different boss, and each one of the pathways, the mechanics for the second boss will change, and the third boss, depending on what objects or different things you interact with. Okay.
Hmm.
Fairly straightforward. There's 12 of them per the 3 different variant dungeons. And if you complete all of those pathways and all of their different variations, there's a mount reward that you get as a part of your achievement. Um the criterion in the current version is essentially a much more difficult, much higher level version of the fights that do include having to go through very heavy hitting um trash mobs. So it's just like the dungeon. It's just that rather than having several different variations, there's just one direct pathway through mobs to get to the 3 different bosses.
Which,
Okay. And then
yeah,
there's the Savage, where the Savage version is that, but even harder and much more complicated.
which sounds
And
exciting, and I'm looking forward to doing it. I just need to. I think what I need to
well,
do is like I need
okay.
to spend a good
Before
week on the variant dungeons and the criterion ones.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I will say about it. Criterion's actually fairly complicated. There are some people who've been able to the thing about the Criterion currently is that it does require you to have 4 people.
Yes.
Whereas the variant dungeon, you can do it as scalable between 1 and 4 people. Okay? So you can go solo all of the variant dungeons and just do all the different pathways yourself. In fact, one of my friends has been doing that recently and has been gathering all of the, basic rewards that you get from that. There's also some very cool things that you can buy, but the rewards are a little thin on the ground and the drop rates are not awesome. I will
No.
fully admit. Um, so that was a complaint that a lot of people had with it. So now they have taken a lot of the commentary that has been made about the prior variant dungeon, and they've taken it on board. And the new system that they're proposing sounds very interesting to me. So basically, we're gonna get the new variant dungeon is called the Merchant's Tale. Because it is side content, I'm gonna go into at least the concept behind it because I personally think it's so cool. I won't go into the story because I don't know anything about the story, but what I do know is that, like, for instance, the variant dungeons in Endwalker, the first one is you are helping a certain city leader go through the underbelly of her city and fight all of the monsters that have nested underneath it, to find out about the shared history of her lands.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the next one is you are going to what is known to be a haunted mountaintop in the uh with an NPC, Hancock. If you're familiar, you know him from Stormblood. If not, you'll meet him. I'm not going to go into
Eventually.
any detail about who he is or what his whole deal is, but he does employ you essentially as an adventurer to come and help him clear out the relics from this, lost mountaintop that was where many, spiritual people resided at one time. And it is known to be haunted. All right. And then the third one is that you wind up talking to one of the elephant people from uh Endwalker, and he talks about how he has fallen madly in love with some woman and he wants help finding the perfect fish. And so he found this island where apparently the perfect fish comes from. And weird things happen. Just go do the island. It's crazy talk. It's great though. And I enjoyed all of that, but this new one seems like it's going to be even more fun because essentially you get brought in on learning about a magic book, and then the magic book sucks you into the story.
I'm so excited for this. The picture alone reminds
The art
me.
They were
of-
making so many jokes about the art. We might have to post some of those pictures.
or actually, I might just post some pictures above me and right next to Violet, the empty space and whatnot. And so just check them out, real quick. They're gonna be right up there and everything. But just it's so far from anything else that we have
Oh yeah.
experienced in 14. And it reminds me of a certain map in oh god in Overwatch where it's so bright and so colorful and clear day and everything, and like it's so far removed from anything, and I'm so excited for this because it's completely different. It looks different. It's probably gonna feel different, and I'm ready for this.
It's literally like walking around in a painting, and I love it. So the art style, it just speaks to me in a lot of like really deep ways. And honestly, I'm so excited for it. So, of course, kind of going along with the choose your own adventure type story thing, um, the variant dungeon's gonna be based on that. So we're gonna get 12 different like, pathways, and it's gonna be really cool. Um, the adjustments that they've made to the overall system. Okay. Let me tell you about this. This is gonna be so awesome. Okay, so we get our basic variant dungeon with our usual rewards and drops and things like that.
Yep.
Okay? Okay. So, get this. We're now going to have variant dungeon advanced. So, if you want exploratory scalable content, go do the normal variant dungeon. Okay, you get to see all your cool countryside, you get to see all the cool art and everything. It's going to be so awesome. Okay, but if you just want to go in and you want to take on the bosses at a little bit higher level and be able to just get their drops and rewards, oh my God, you get to go in and just do the bosses. You don't have to do them in order. You get a reward if you do all of them, but you can go in and just do one and get the drops from it and just like get out. And it's great.
It's so
And
good.
I know. All right. So the other thing is again with the scalable content idea, is that now you can't do it solo, but you can do it as a duo.
Yes.
So yay! I am so happy to have more content that I can just do with like me and my wife when we have a few minutes. We just want to go do stuff together, and just being able to go in, take out a boss, get the rewards, or do all three of them, which they're all the same bosses from the variant dungeon. You just don't have the exploratory angle in it. And then we have Criterion. Okay, so Criterion is now going to basically take the place of Savage. So rather than having to have an even further difficulty for Savage, it's going to be variant advanced, where you just go do the bosses and you can do them in any order. Um, or you can just do one or two bosses, get the rewards, and get out. And then you've got Criterion. So the changes to Criterion are, again, they decided to remove all the exploratory. It's just the bosses. Okay. It is the bosses retooled for Savage difficulty. It,
What?
yep. Yup. And then, but they've added in the difficulty level also of you have to do them in order.
Ooh. Oh,
And
that's
you
awesome.
can't stop. So it is essentially they have turned Criterion into a slightly lesser version of doing like Uwu.
Oh, that's gonna be so good.
I
Oh,
know, right? It's gonna be so cool. I am so excited to prog through this because it's gonna be so much easier to prog through this and learn the fights and actually be able to get through everything, as opposed to before when you had to do that and then get through the trash mobs and then prog through the whole fight again. And it's gonna be so awesome. I really am looking forward to that so much. Just so that you kind of get an idea of how they're tooling things, variant dungeons are again one to a maximum of 4 players, much like deep dungeons. Um, but the variant advanced, you have to have a minimum of 2 players up to 4 players. So a little bit scalable there. And then for the Criterion, you have to have 4 players. Like you have to have four. And the way that matching is going to work if you use the raid finder for the variant or for the Criterion dungeon is that you are going to be required to have 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS. However, if you do a pre-form party, you can do goofy stuff like you can take 4 tanks, 4 healers, 4 DPS, whatever you want to do. If that's how you want to deal with it. Also, Criterion is not only going to be high difficulty, no trash mobs, just boss to boss to boss to boss. You're also going to be limited in how many revivals you can do.
Ooh.
Yup.
That's gonna make things fun.
Oh, it's gonna
Fun?
be spicy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be spicy, and I love it. I'm so excited for it. All right. So now that we talked about like all the like big changes for all of that, let's go into the UI. Normally the UI section and the make like, functionary section is not the exciting part. Spoiler alert, you're going to want to pay attention to this part. Here we go. Okay, so we'll start off easy. We get a few new color schemes for those people who are used to using your standard like dark color scheme, light color scheme, which is like more of a beige, and then the blue color scheme, which is like classic
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. We get a couple more, which is I think it's like green clear and white clear or something like that. Um Basically they're translucent themes, and for those people who have a hard time being able to see blue, particularly people who have perhaps like blue green color blindness or red green color blindness. Sometimes blues wind up being difficult to discern in contrast. So being able to use the white might be better because it's more of a white black contrast. And then there's green for people who prefer the yellows from green to be able to see things. So, yay, great, whatever, more stuff. Here's a big thing for all of our raiders in the group. Strategy board is coming out. It is right now slated
Yes.
for 7.4. Here's the big thing that people need to like. One of the things they have been going back and forth about is whether or not it was going to be something that would be accessible while you're in raid. This is a tool that, according to the way they were talking about it, they specifically had console players in mind. So this is not just going to be something that's like a lot of the web-based strategy board systems. This is going to be something where it is usable while in raid and can actually be used like pieces on a board to show everyone movement and to show everyone placement. So there's lots of like, I'm really hoping that this works out for people. I'm really hoping it's not glitchy, because I know that for raiders, this is going to be like the godsend of raiding planning.
Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. Are you kidding me? Especially like especially like l- for t- for example, like Fight Club, right? People are
hmm
learning something new and whatnot. Instead of just sitting there and like try to explain it and like have some sort of like movement like within a small area before trying not to pull the mob or anything like that. You can actually pull this up and you can actually showcase what you mean by here's this mechanic and you need to stand over here or and whatnot. This is gonna help a lot.
I'm really hoping it's something that like you can set up beforehand.
Yes.
And then, like, you go in and you're just like, okay, so on page 3, you can see we get to this mechanic and this is how this is going to work. I genuinely hope so, because if that's how it works, I may be out of a job. Like, I may not even have to run Fight Club anymore. Like, we'll already have all the explanations there. Nobody's going to need me. Like, you can see it.
Yeah, but it's still fun for you. Fun with you explaining it and whatnot too. So it is.
You don't have to butter me up that much, Houka. I get it. It's fine.
I'm not trying
Anyway.
to butter you up. I don't know. I don't know
Aw.
what you're talking about.
Anyway, I will share my candy with you anyway because you're my friend. Um, all right. So the next thing they were talking about is the command panel. So for all of those people who have spent so much time working on their fly out when hot bars and all of their things to keep their UI compact, here's here is the new UI system they're putting in place. They're actually trying to make it even more compact, and they're giving us 100 slots on a page system that allows us it's 25 per page, 25 slots per page that will all collapse down to a single button.
I saw this and instantly got super excited. And I'm like,
I know.
I can put all my emotes there and just go through and sort through. What?
I know, right? I'm so excited about this. I mean, and it's silly too but I've also spent huge amounts of time trying to get all my hot bars there. I'm a big UI nerd. Like I love it, love it, love it, love it. Can't wait for it. They said that of course like right now it's still a little buggy, but they're working on it. And I cannot wait to see it come out. Now, here we go. Dun da da dun, the big alert. I want everybody to know that the way that they'd announced this was hilarious to me because they showed someone in the Endwalker White Mage, or yeah, or no, Dawn Trail. It was the Dawn Trail White Mage dress
Uh-oh.
carrying a uh Dark Knight double-handed relic sword.
Yes. And at
And
first,
they're like, "Can you tell what's weird about this?" And all of us went, yeah, but we don't know what it means. Please explain it, Yoshi P."
yeah, I saw this and I'm like, wait, that's not right. That doesn't look
Something
right at
about this
all.
is not correct. Okay, so for further explanation, as of 7.4, all of your restrictions on Glam will be removed. That means that essentially everything is now being tagged with all classes. Now this excludes weapons and tools. Okay,
Of
so just so
course.
you know, weapons and tools, because that is the system by which we change from job to job, they are excluded. However, all of the time that you've sat there and wanted a okay, so here's my brain just like immediately went to in Endwalker, or not Endwalker, Shadowbringer. There is a crafter set which shares the exact same model with the Plaguebringer set from the Saint Moshane's Arboretum.
Yes.
It's basically the really fancy, like military style coat with tails and that whole like dress setup. Love it. Love, love, love from the level 60 dungeon. However, it's not dyeable. And then we got another version of that set that was also not dyeable. However, in Shadowbringer, there is a crafting set that is dyeable, but you can't put it obviously on any of your battle jobs. So it's like, gosh darn it. Well, guess what? Now you can take that crafting set and you can now get your dyeable Saint Moshane's gear that everybody has been clamoring for on your Warrior of Light on any job you want. Glory on high as the angels sing.
Hallelujah.
Ah.
Hallelujah. No, like when I first read this, I'm like, I can actually make my Viper and Rogue set the same. And now I can make them whatever I want for any particular set. And I'm so excited for this. Like
Oh yeah.
you have no idea how badly I wanted, my paladin to look different to my warrior, to look different to my gunbreaker and whatnot. Because it's like once you reach once you reach all your jobs to like a level 100 whatnot, essentially they're all gonna look the same. Blah 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 blah. You can do different ways to make them all look different and whatnot.
Yeah, there's
I'm
like
just
5
I'm
different sets, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like I'm too lazy to do all that. Anyways, now I can essentially make them all look different, and I'm so excited for this.
Oh, yeah, no, the crazy part about it is when you sit there and you start thinking through things. Okay, so for those who know, the Alliance raid from level 80, the gear out of there, one of the biggest problems that people have had, especially for trying to get it to fit different, setups. Now, keep in mind, this is just job locking and level locking. So, one of the things that's great now, okay, so currently, when let's just say you have a level 100 job and you go and you earn up all of this gear, but maybe you get some drops that are for a job that is currently sitting at level 50 and it's from a level 80 raid series. You cannot put that level 80 gear and glam it to your level 50 because there's level matching. You have to be either at or above the level of the gear or it won't work. The glamour
Yeah,
system just will not apply it. However, as of 7.4, gone. No more level restrictions. You can put that level 80 glam that you picked up that you can't apply to the job you were playing at the time, you can slap it on another job. So no longer having to sit around wait also means that you can take all of that gear and all of the different models that come out of it and rematch it to all different kinds of jobs. I'm beyond like the creativity is going to explode.
the glamour of community are just ecstatic for this.
Oh yeah.
Just
Oh
oh,
yeah.
I cannot
Oh,
wait to see
we
the
are
different.
we are like, oh, I can't wait for it. I'm so I'm so excited. It's so great. It's gonna be so great.
So,
I can't. And of course, immediately his response, immediately Yoshi P and Foxconn were immediately like, yes, 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 yes. We know you want more glamour plates and you want more slots in your glam chest. Like we're aware of where this is going to go. However, however, at this point, we are still working on the item system to get it to where it's not as buggy and we can actually work within it. So just enjoy the unlocked glam for now and please just work within what you have and we'll get the rest of those updated later. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
but I want it now. I want it
Of course.
meow.
And that was of course the entire chat like went nuts with but now. All right.
We want a meow.
But let me tell you about why. Okay. So here's the thing he also emphasized is that they have a priority that they built. Years and years and years and years and years ago at this point, housing as soon as it entered the game was a pretty massive hit, but housing is currently undergoing massive optimization. And because this is a promise that was made to the player base years ago, it is taking priority over the item system for Glam. So, right now, they're trying to work on expanding the item system for items that are available interior and exterior to your house and for your housing. And once they figure that out, because it is a very similar item system, databasing system, they should be able to work it out for Glam as well. So I am very excited to see how this is all going to shake out because it's looking like customization is finally getting optimized in Final Fantasy XIV in a really intense way and I am so excited about it. However, and here's the bad news because there's always going to be some bad news.
Of course.
The housing optimization is being pushed back to 7.5.
I mean, we've waited this long. I,
I know, but still, it's oh, how dare you tease us with this? But at least we're getting the glamour set up at 7.4 supposedly. And then 7.5, they'll supposedly have the optimization for, they say they're close. They've got it nearly there. All right. So whatever. Looks like we'll get maybe housing 7.5. But by that point, we're gonna be so close to the to 8.0.
maybe we'll learn more about it at FanFest. Well, we'll hopefully.
Hey, speaking of FanFest, the lottery for FanFest is open. If you are a current subscriber of Final Fantasy XIV, you can go and get logged in to sign up to potentially be able to get the privilege of buying a ticket.
Yeah, I
Mm,
yeah. This is like the last FanFest where I I did the whole lottery system and I'm waiting and never got picked. I'm like,
yeah.
I still went to Vegas though. Still went to Vegas and met up
Hey!
with my my FC at the time and had fun. I had a blast. It was very much.
That
I
is so cool.
Yeah, I still had a blast. Even if I don't get a ticket again for this next one,
Yeah.
I'm hoping I do. I'm still gonna go to Anaheim. I plan on going, and
We
so
we do actually currently have a plan for the HJP community to meet up in Anaheim. It is we have a bunch of members who are all Californians, so and not terribly far away, so that's going to be fun for them. I am on the other side of the country. You're more like Midland, so
I mean I'm not that far from you, but yeah,
okay. Well, whatever. Yeah. I mean, I do have the advantage of being closer to one of the largest airports in North America, which is helpful, but it's still trying to figure that out. I would like to be able to make the fan festival meetup. I think that would be super cool. But if nothing else, what I might do is just have somebody carry me around as a iPad or something like that. Uh just have like my little Violet hanging out through
I'm sure
FaceTime.
we can make that happen. I'm sure we can
That
make
would
it
be
happen
cool.
somewhere.
That'd be cool. All right. That seems to be pretty much the extent of everything through this particular patch update. We like I said, so highlights are 11.11. We're 7.38. We're gonna get limits released, so look forward to that. And then 7.4 is when we have a huge raid drop. Oh my god, Raid, PvP, Occult Crescent, even Gold Saucer, and of course, Glam gets the most massive update it's probably had in, oh man, this entire decade
I
of Final
something.
Fantasy XIV. It's wild. Speaking of which, just as an aside, so people understand like where we came from and where we're at. When a Realm Reborn dropped, it did not have a glamour system at all.
Ooh. Oh boy.
There was no glamour prism system. There was none of that. And it has gone through massive changes over time. There have been tons and tons of updates. We went through the glamour chest years where once you put it in your glamour chest, that's where it lived and you could never pull it back out again. We went through the now we're trying to get things set up into an armoire, and that wound up being two completely separate systems because the armoire you could both put things in and pull things out. Then eventually they finally got the glam chest updated. It's been a long journey um of experimentation, and it's kind of interesting to see where this game started and where it has wound up, and now it is one of the most adaptable, fun games to play because of all the customization options and the artwork that people are in. To kind of give a background on that, one of the things I got to do for Halloween after I did my streaming and I hung out with my family is I got invited to go and hang out with other HJP community members who had gone to an entire ward of a Rafflesia goblet location where a nightclub had set up, not just one nightclub, four different nightclubs, six different the entire ward. It was basically an amusement park. It was an online amusement park that we got to go to, where these houses were so creatively set up. We had G pose locations where we could take some of the coolest pictures. We had DJs set up in actual clubs where you could listen online while you went and danced with people in the game. There were people hanging out. It was literally so packed full of people that we would get locked in houses, and it was so funny because they were all Halloween themed. So of course we're like getting locked into murder houses. Um uh, because it wasn't just that they had made it hard for you to get to the exit, which that's a choice. It was that the instanced area outside of the instanced areas, which are the houses, was so full of people that you literally could not get in. Like, it would
Ooh.
not let you out. It was packed. It was packed. And there were people wearing in-game cosplays. It was incredible. And that's what we have with the system that we're working with currently. And this release on the glamour system is just we're going to see a lot of questionable choices, but that's okay. That's just going to be a phase. We're also going to see some of the most incredible like glamour artwork, and I am here for it.
Sorry, I was there last night. Unfortunately, I was dealing some stomach issues or whatnot. But when I was there and I was actually moving around and everything, there were so many people. I don't think I saw the same person twice because there were so many people and like
Like,
all the
we
different.
were in a party and it was so impossible to find each other because we were like constantly going in and out of do things and seeing all the stuff. And okay, so my favorite thing from last night is I found a pizzeria. So one of the houses is a small house that was set up like a pizzeria, but if you kind of slipped into the back of the pizzeria to just explore around, you could go downstairs. And when you went downstairs, it was a giant bubbling cheese monster
Oh no!
that had people locked in jails, and you had like retainers set up where they were basically feeding people to the cheese monster.
Oh my
It
goodness!
was so awesome. Just the way that they had set it up, the items that they used that actually created not just a visual scape, but a soundscape. Because when you walked on them, they actually made the splort, 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 splort
Oh my
noise.
goodness!
It was unhinged. I loved it so
No,
much.
the one house that I remember going in there with the guys, they had three photo booths set up. And I'm like, that
Mhm.
is the most creative thing I've seen in this game so far. Aside from like people, having like stage with the dancing pole and whatnot. Other, otherwise, the three photo booths. I need to go back there and try to find that pizzeria now.
There were
I'm really
5
interested.
different locations. There were 5 of them set up for G-posing. One of them was only 3 photo booths, but they were so intensely packed with items that it was like an entirely like that you should see some of our friends like screenshots and G-poses from last night. They were incredible. Quite frankly, the creativity, the artistry that people exhibit in this game keeps me coming back every day.
Oh,
Every day.
it's amazing, absolutely amazing, and whatnot. So it's so much. If you even can tell, like we have so much fun in this game. Like aside from the main story, the fighting, there's so much to do in this game, and I absolutely love it. I finally got to a point with my house that I'm really really happy how it turned out, and I have not done any changes to it for about a good 2 to 3 weeks now, and I don't plan on making any changes to it because
Mhm.
I'm really really happy with it. So
I gotta come check that out then, because the last time I saw it was looking really, really good, but I know that you were still like, "It's still a little under construction, just come wait, it's not done yet." I was like, "Okay."
so so since the housing tour event that we did and whatnot, I
Mhm.
did a complete rework on it. I completely tore everything down, started from scratch. It took me about a week and a half to get it to where it is now. So
Oh, wow.
I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, I will come and check that out. I still have to I'm still very proud of, like, what is it? The cantina at the end of the universe that I created
Oh
for
yeah.
Luna, and then, I'm big into housing. I actually have, like, 2 whole alts that exist for nothing more than just, like, transporting, my housing items around. And I have a problem, alright? Like, I'm aware of my problems. I'm not interested in fixing them. Um But, if you wanna go check out, Weird Witches, we are plot 5, ward 10, I think? I don't know. Either way, we've got our house set up in, the lavender beds because, of course, for my FC, which is separate from Kraken's Call, because, of course, we're inclusive of all people at HJP, even those who don't join the FC. Um, I decided to go with a more, like, witchy theme. In fact, the FC is called the Weird Witches, so that makes sense. For Kraken's Call, it's actually a really incredible, both practical, like, photo booth type setup, as well as, like, nautical themed. One of the members of our group just completely redid the entirety of the basement for the glam contest that we're gonna have very soon, and it is incredible. Honestly, the amazing things that can be done with housing. And I will say, okay, so here's my moment. The housing system, let's talk about it for just 1 second. It's not great. Okay. It's not great, Yoshi P. It is in need of some real help. The placement system's janky, trying to get things lined up, glitches, the fact that you're relying on people basically taking the way that your system is broken and taking the broken to make okay, yep, no, fix it. Fix it. Fix it.
Just add it, just add it to the game. Like I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's a whole coding issue, bugs and all that stuff to try to do what a lot of the housing community do to glitch to get certain furnitures to be placed to
Yeah.
where they're at and whatnot. Because at the same time, it's like, please fix it,
They Oh my god, that
please.
you have to rely on that stuff. It's ridiculous. I don't like it. Fix it. Make it better. I want it.
I tried doing that at my house and whatnot,
Mhm.
and I would sit there so incredibly frustrated, and I commend a lot of the housing community who has a much bigger patient than I do to be able to do stuff like that, because it's it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Please
Yeah.
just add it to the game. We want it. We need it. Just do it, please.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's part of the upgrades and the changes that they're going to be making. But anyway, all right, so that's everything for 7.4, and this wound up being way longer than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Apparently we have a lot of opinions.
I thought it was gonna be quick. I was wrong.
But thanks so much everybody for listening. And just to kind of put the end cap on this, we would really appreciate anybody who has been enjoying our podcast and has any interest in Final Fantasy XIV. If you want to experience fun group of people, please check out heatherjustplay.org. There are links to our Discord there. Come meet us, hang out with us. We'd love to meet you. It would be so fun if you could come play with us.
Oh, most definitely. Come join us and make sure all your Aetheryte travels are free.